Good morning. All right. Full disclosure, I'm trying out these weird little rollers. So my hair's a little bit wackadoo. Don't worry about that. Oh, yesterday was such a big day for me. In a good way. And before I get to day 62, 63, 64, and 65, because today is day 66. Woo! Go Martine. My new world record, 66 days. Wow. I'm just going to do that and that. It's so good to pat yourself on the back. But yesterday was like a non-scale victory day. Here's a non-scale victory. This top, I keep getting notifications. Please hold while I turn them off. Okay, yay. Now, I was trying to get this top to sit properly, and it's not going to sit properly because it's too big. And all my life, I've always lost weight from the top down, except for when I did HCG, and then I lost weight in all my fat pockets, which I now understand is the lipedema. It's the adipose fat tissue that is, I don't want to use the word, slightly abnormal. If you say it quicker, does it not matter? I'm sorry. I'm feeling good about these non-scale victories that I want to share with you. And look, the hair's doing its own thing. I bought these little rollers, these little Velcro rollers to try and help my hair. Oh, the things we talk about when we're vlogging. Anyway, so I've got this randomness going on, which it's going to take me a little while to work out what the rollers do and don't do. The little Velcro things, you just put them in and then you don't even need a pin, right? I have somewhere between wavy and curly hair. My kids have ringlets, my grown-up kids. We've got ringlets all in our family, but I got the in-between. And I've straightened my hair for years, and then it's just like, oh, how do I do a little bit of curly and a little bit not? Anyway, let's get back to non-scale victories. So yesterday I had a waxing appointment, and I hadn't been for 3 months because I had to cancel my appointment in between, and I wasn't feeling well, so I cancelled it. But what that gap allowed me to do was make a comparison between the last time I went there and this time, because getting up on the bed is hard for me. So a little bit of vulnerable sharing. I found it much easier to get on and off the bed because it's a little bit higher. And anyway, I have a super sore right knee at the moment. Or actually today it's feeling a little bit better. I was using, yesterday I ended up using arnica gel and Voltaren gel and Denga Rub cream. Like all day I was putting it on, and the day before I was putting it on all day. Sorry, yesterday I was in and out of the house. So, which is what I'm telling you about. I will get to the story. So I was worried about that, going to the beautician. I was worried about that because getting up on the bed and getting off the bed. Anyway, it was easier and I noticed the difference. So non-scale victory right there. That was great. And then I thought, shall I go to the beef shed? Now, here's the story about the beef shed. Again, stuff you don't tell everyone, stuff you don't really talk about. But the last few times I had been there, I struggled to be in there for 5 or 10 minutes and get out without, I was just in so much pain, and I just didn't feel like strong on my feet. It's just awful, actually, just talking about it, because it's a shocking thought when you don't feel like you can be mobile. You can just run around and do whatever you want to do. Anyway, so you probably understand my quandary when I'm in there, finished with the beautician, and I thought, should I attempt to go to Beef Shed by myself, right? Because the last few times I've gone with my husband, and I'm like, look, I'm feeling better. Like, it was easier to get on and off the bed today at waxing, and I thought, come on, Martine, let's try it. Oh, and again, these are the things you don't talk about out loud, but then there's the bathroom. Like, in the morning, do I want to get caught at the Beef Shed needing to go to the bathroom? Oh, such private moments. And I was thinking about that early in the morning, so I purposefully didn't have any fat in the morning, because I'm trying to have one puck, those fat pucks that I do, whipped tallow. I try to have one of those first thing in the morning, but even before I eat. And honestly, if it's a 16, which I try to have the 16 grams, which is the square one, the little round ones are 8, then I find I can get through. I'm not trying to get through, but I'm not hungry until early afternoon, which is great because it's like a fasting window almost, right? Without formally fasting. So anyway, I was managing all these things in my mind, and I went, yep, okay, I think I can do it. But I said to myself, all right, if anything starts to go south, like pain, toilet, anything, just leave everything there and get in the car and go home. So I had a plan. Oh my gosh. So I went and parked, got the trolley. I thought that will just give me support. I don't always use a trolley because I only pick up 2 or 3 or 4 things at a time. So I grabbed a trolley, popped my bag in that, went in. I managed to video some of it. I'm actually going to put up a tiny little, they do the Costco shopping haul. I'm going to put up a Beef Shed mini haul. Okay, here we go. Where is it? Beef Shed. So this is interesting. The chuck tender, which is the chuck eye, they're charging $15.99 for it, which I've never seen them pull it out like that before. Look at that. There's not much fat on it. Okay, pork spare ribs, free range, $12.99. Yes. Because it's a great place, and if you live in Perth, it's a great option. Anyway, so I managed to video several things around the shop, look for what I wanted. I was looking for chuck. I really want some chuck. I really need some chuck. I was looking for some chuck. I didn't find that. I wanted some cheap meat. I was looking for some cheap meat. I need to make my crunchy beef and a few things just for textures, different textures, and just things that when I am hungry, so that I don't feel lightheaded, I can just grab a bite of something and then I can, while I'm cooking. So I found Eye of Round. It's called Girello here in Australia. So I found Girello. It was $12.99 a kilo. I said to myself, I know it's lean meat. I know it's not going to be great pressure cooked because it'll just dry out like blade roast does. But I'm going to grab it because it was it 4 kilos of, I'll pop a video up of this Eye of Round. There was 2 Eye of Rounds in this bag. I went, I'm just going to grab it. Cheap meat, cheap beef, cheapest beef I can find. I grabbed some pork spare ribs. They're going to be amazing. I am going to smoke those. I love my pellet grill smoker. I love it. One of the best contraptions we've ever bought. And what was the other thing I got? Oh, Bodavos. I was walking around the shop. Now, I got so far in, I'd done most of everything. I'd picked up the spare ribs, the eye round, and also the bottom boss. And so now I was having a bit of a look, and then my tummy started, and I went, okay, I need to go home. So I then, not started in a bad way, I just knew that I'd need to go to the toilet soon. And they don't have a public toilet. They've got a staff toilet, and they give me a hard time if I want to use it. So I thought, I'm just going to, and then there's never a big queue. Also, yesterday was Tuesday, so it's quite a day. Anyway, so I thought, that's it. I just left straight away. I went out, paid for my stuff, and got in the car and came home, and it was all good. My non-scale victory is that I did it by myself. I didn't have intense pain. I didn't feel shaky on my feet. I was so good. I know I wasn't there for a long time. Maybe 15 minutes in total. I don't know. Editing Martine is going to check. All right. Editing Martine will check. This hair's annoying me. It's just everywhere right now. Anyway, so what notes did I make? Pain, movement, felt more mobile. That is a summary, and it is a non-scar victory. But the other thing which I wrote down, the position of my chair in the car. I noticed when I got in the car to go to the beautician yesterday morning that I adjusted it, and I felt like I was sitting more forward, which means I've gotten a little bit smaller. So they're my non-scale victories. Let's get to what I ate, because, wow, that took me a hot minute to talk about. All right. So day 62 was Saturday. I had a coffee puck in the morning, the square one. And then I had 2 muffles. Now, I'm going to put a video up about muffles. I'm calling them muffles. I don't know if I've already talked about muffles. They're meat waffles. Anyway, have you ever had a pizza? I'm going to do a video on a pizza. I used to have pizzas on, it's a meat pizza, on HCG diets when I discovered them. And I love them. And I've even made them for the husband. He eats everything anyway. And he loves them too, with all of his toppings on it. But anyway, I had made some different muffles using chicken mince. Again, I'll pop that recipe up. And, excuse me, I had some butter with my enzyme tablets. Right, then I had egg and bacon and my whole egg bread. And then I crumbed some squid. I've made this a few times, and the crumb just falls off it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've got to work it out. And I used some tallow to shallow fry that in. I ended up eating that crumb. I didn't throw it away. You'll see it in my bowl. And it was delicious. It was just 2 things, pork rinds and chicken flour mixed together. So that was lovely. And then I had something different. I had a hot fatty tea. Notice I didn't have any coffee that day. I haven't had coffee. Today is the first day in days. And to be honest, right now, I'm not sure if I'm going to drink the rest of it. Anyway, so I had a hot fatty tea, and I put one of the square cinnamon pucks in it and a dash of cream, and I whipped that up. Then on Sunday, day 63, I had cinnamon and vanilla. Right, I had a square and a round. I had a vanilla left from the last batch. I think it was my last one, in a fatty tea in the morning. So I pushed the envelope and put a bit more fat in that and whipped it up. And it was. I actually quite like this fatty tea. I might make myself one actually soon. Then I had some pork belly. Oh my gosh, this pork belly has just been wonderful as a, I'm doing high fat carnivore as a way to get in high fat. That was something I wanted from the beef shed yesterday, but it was so dear. It was $25 a kilo, the pork belly. I went, yeah, no, I'm not buying that. Paul had gotten me one for, I think, $19 a kilo from Woolies or Coles a few days back, which is this one. So I had that. I've worked out sort of how much fat. It's a lot of fat in it, which is great. It's about 50% fat. I did have a slight queasy feeling after it. I've written down here. So half a choffle, and I had some of those baby McDonald's sausage patties that I made, homemade ones. Then I had a Scotch fillet. Then some more pork belly. And I had lots of cake cravings and biscuit cravings that day. So that was Sunday night. I remember that. That was pretty full on. I didn't do anything. I didn't have anything. One of the things I've learnt through doing different programs over the years, and I've had coaching, life coaching from a couple of different people, and they go into different things, right? But urges, when an urge comes, I don't know, I fell into this rut at one stage in my life where I felt like I had to act on it every time. And one of the things I learned from Brooke, this life coach I had at the time, was to feel it, embrace it, acknowledge it. It's like listening, it's like hearing yourself, like saying, yeah, I hear you, I hear you, I hear that. I hear that. I acknowledge that I want cake and I want biscuits and I want all the things right now. I hear you. Doesn't mean you have to do it, right? That was a huge learning moment for me a couple of years ago. And I'm 50. Did we work out I'm 56? 55, 56, yeah. So that was Sunday, day 63. Monday, day 64. Oh, I haven't told you the fat. Let me just tell you, because I'm happy. Saturday, I did 146 grams. So remember, my target's 150, if that's going to work for me, because I don't want to have a sore tummy and be running to the toilet all the time. And if that's the case, I'm going to dial it back a little bit. But anyway, Sunday was 186 grams. Now, I did acknowledge in the morning after the pork belly, had a slight queasy feeling. So I'm just writing this down just for information for me, right? So then Monday, day 64, I recorded some videos for my other channel in the morning. Then I had a 16-gram coffee square. Then I did a mixed grill. I'm calling them a mixed grill because this seems to be what I eat a lot of the time. Then I had an 8-gram round coffee puck. I do try, one of the ways to help me get in I could get about 50 grams of fat in just by having a little whipped tallow puck. I eat most of the time 3 times a day. So when I go into the kitchen to prep, I grab a puck out of the freezer. And the square one's obviously 16. So 16 times 3 is 48, I think. Yeah, 48. So that's 50 grams of fat just by grabbing a little square and just munching on it. I try and take a photo for you guys to put up here. Just munching on it whilst I'm heating up the air fryer and then cooking whatever it is I'm going to have. So and if they're 8 grams, I try and have 2 or it's just less fat. But that's a very simple way each day without changing your meals. If you want to increase fat, a very simple way is having a fat bomb. If you can do dairy, if I could do dairy, wow, I would I would have some amazingly delicious, yep, there it goes, amazingly delicious fat bombs. But as it is, my fat bombs are whipped tallow at the moment with creative flavors, whatever I can create. So then I had a porterhouse New York strip. I cut it into strips. And I had a lot of Wagyu fat that meal, and I did not get a funny tummy after. So again, interesting. Happened to me once, didn't happen to me. So that was a 375-gram portion of Wagyu fat that I cooked, and half of it turns to liquid, and I pour off. And then I had 2 little coffee pucks, and then I think in the evening, I went and grabbed a choffle, just one. That could have been a moffle though. And then yesterday was Tuesday, day 65, and I went out and did all my things. Oh, so the meat haul. I'm like 5 minutes away from home. So I got Bodovos, I got some spare ribs, and this eye of round, which is going to be a little leaner, but it's going to be good for beef jerky and my beef my crunchy beef. These are amazing little... All right, I'm going to pop them into my cooler bag. Yay! So I'm feeling very accomplished about that. I had 7 hours sleep on Monday night. Oh, I didn't tell you. 156 grams of fat on Monday. So again, I hit my target, which is good, without feeling sick or having heaps of diarrhea, upset tummy. I didn't have any of that. So when I got back from the beef shed again, I hadn't had anything first thing in the morning because I didn't want to cause a toilet situation for myself. Oh, I didn't want to actually do that first toilet in the morning. Like, is this TMI? Is this too much information? Bit of an overshare maybe. Okay, 8 grams coffee round puck. Then I had a ribeye scotch. I'm calling them both because I actually like the name ribeye, but here in Australia we call it scotch fillet. So, and some pork belly. I'm nearly at the end of my pork belly. I need 2 more because I sous vide them, and I'm pushing the time and the temp to get it softer and softer. Just experimenting with it. I did it longer. I did it 12 hours was the first one I did at 65, and I think this one I did at 67 for 16 hours. Now I'm going to go a wee bit longer. Was it 16 or 17 hours? Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm going to go 20 hours next. 67, 68 degrees maybe for 20 hours and see, because it was a little bit more tender this time, so it was lovely. Then I had bottavos. So I cooked the whole ring of bottavos in the air fryer. Oh my gosh, that Ninja air fryer is so good. If ever you want to support my channel, you can use some of my links below. I would love that. It would really help me. It's just, you don't get much from Amazon. I'm an Amazon affiliate, but it all helps, right? It all helps. So I cooked that whole round bottavos. I probably ended up having a quarter of it. The son had some, the husband had some. They loved it, and I've got a little bit left in the fridge. I had a square cinnamon puck, and then I'd made some truffles, not waffles, truffles. All that's in it, 2 ingredients, eggs and pork rinds, pork panko. Let's call it pork panko because it's crumbed up. I used my blender, I can't think what that's called now, Wonder Bullet, the Bullet blender. I was using before my mini chopper, but the Bullet blender is so much easier. Thing is, that gets thick really quick, so you've got to pour the liquid out and get it done, right? I need a four truffle thing, a 4 waffle maker. I've got 2 mini dash, but it's just heating them all up individually, 2 power points, blah, blah, blah. I want to get one of those that's got 4. I can just pour in, and then it's liquid. I can pour it all in and make 4 at once. Done. Anyway, so I made truffles, 2 eggs, and half a cup of pork rinds made 3 truffles, which I worked out there's 10 grams of fat in 2 eggs. Excuse me. And panko has quite a bit of fat in it. So depending on how much you use, there's supposed to be 30 grams in 100 grams of panko. So anyway, I made that. I had 2, and I made a little burger, and you'll have a look. And I also cut some Scotch ribeye strips, and I cooked those along with a Wagyu burger patty. That's a lot of food for me. I knew I wouldn't be able to eat it all. But I have sometimes some steak strips left over, and 2 or 3 hours later, I will eat them. So that's okay. I have to be careful not to get too ambitious to try and eat because I just can't get it in. But what I did do is I made that little burger. I had the truffle, the burger patty, and the truffle, right? Should we call it a poffle? Because it's pork. No. Okay. I know. I can hear my children in my head going, Mom. Anyway, I cut it in half and then cut it again, so it was in quarters. Paul got 1 quarter. He loved it. Sam had a quarter. I asked them, do you want to try it? They both said yes, and then they both loved it. So I ended up having half of that and ended up having about half my steak strips. and then I ate the rest later. And I ate the fat first. It's actually, if you're wanting to increase fat, you must eat the fat first in your meal. All right, that's it. Okay, it's gone long. That is it for my 4 days of eating, what I've eaten for 4 days, and my non-scale victories. I'm very, very happy. Wow. Just thinking 66 days. And it doesn't even feel like 66 days. Honestly, I was thinking this morning about 90 days. And it won't, I just know it will feel like, well, like right now, I just feel like I haven't finished with it, you know. And that's important because, again, when you live from the inside out, it needs to be a heart decision, right? Decisions are the best decisions. And they're the ones that they don't tax us. Because they come out of that place of where energy and heart and love and joy is. So I like to make all my decisions like that, you know, as hard as it is. And you can't manipulate that place. It is what it is in there, right? It is what it is. You think what you think, you are where you are at. So anyway, thank you so much. I've got some new friends I actually wrote all their names down, and now do you think I can find the page that I wrote it on? Because I don't want to miss anyone out. I'm an empath, and so those sorts of things are really important to me. So I'm not going to say names until I specifically took time to write them all down. And you know what I've done? I've put it in my okay. Thank you so much for commenting and chatting to me. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much. Our Perth girls and also our global girls, sending you lots of love. I appreciate you sharing your personal bits with me as well. And thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Mwah! Bye.